around because it's happening so fast and furious.
Somebody in college basketball who has been as good as anybody when it comes to being a chameleon with his team based on what is best for them. Scott Drew, national championship basketball coach for Baylor, joins us on 365 Sports. So there was a long, long time when you and Syracuse were about the only ones that understood how to run the zone. Are you back to the roots of what was so good for you quite some time ago?
Well, as you say, you got to be able to adjust. And one thing, it seems like for 5 years or so, our man was really, really good. And this year we need a second pitch, and zone for some games has really come in and helped us. And our personnel does fit that in some areas. So again, it doesn't matter if we play a triangle and two, whatever it takes to win, we're going to do it.
I would love to see you guys do that as well. But, Scott, you have never really stopped doing either one of them over the last few years, at least coaching them up. How much of that was we got to make sure that we can pivot? Because when you first went to the zone many, many years ago, that was a pivot in season because you just had a couple guys who were not man-to-man guys, especially down low, and it worked out for you. You got in the tournament. Have you always kind of kept both systems in place in case you do need to make those pivots in season?
Well, I think just like in life, every time you have experiences with things, it helps you and it gives you an opportunity to just put more cards in the deck. And it's something you've done and you feel comfortable with, and you know how to teach it. So my dad, he always told me, for a coach, your number one job is not have players fit your system. It's you to bring out the best in them. And each and every year there's different, I call it ways to get to 4. I mean, could be 2 plus 2, could be 3 plus 1, could be 5 minus 1. And at the end of the day, winning basketball, there's a lot of different offenses you can run, a lot of different defenses you can run. And what can you do to put your guys in the best position to be successful? And it's really never about the coach. It's about what allows the players to do that. And, again, the zone's been good, but also our man has gotten better. So it's given us our defenses continue to improve because our guys try, they care. And if you try and care, you have a chance to get better. And we're one of the few teams that are starting 2 freshmen. You have 4 guys that have never started in a Baylor uniform. So, I mean, give them a lot of credit for being willing to listen, adapt, and do whatever we ask.
Scott, you have Kansas tomorrow. Noon game, huge game. Obviously, they need a win, and obviously you're still trying to get some of those back-to-back after you won this earlier in the week against TCU. Who's more likely to play tomorrow, Langston Love or Kevin McCullough?
That's a crapshoot. So I think Langston's a real tough kid. If he can go, he will go. But I know it'll be a game time decision, and it'll be something that is conveyed to me. So that's a great thing when you have players that are tough and you got trainers that do a great job. They let you know who's available and who's not. I don't have to play doctor.
Scott Drew with us, national championship Baylor basketball coach on 365 Sports.
Scott, what's been your key? I know that they have not finished. You've got 4 games this year that have finished in overtime or at the buzzer, and you didn't come out of the wrong on the right side of it. But it is still a kind of a neat thing that your team can do where they can crawl out of a hole. Is it a maturity thing, an experience thing that eventually there's going to be a period where the light comes on and that you guys do win one of those games because they've been through the wars a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I think if you go back to our first couple conference games, Cincinnati game, the BYU game, there's another one we had early at home that we basically won the close games. And so sometimes you win them, sometimes you lose them. If you're in a close game, unless you're Coach Tang in overtime, and he's perfect so far, you're gonna win some and lose some, and that's the goal of us is each and every day to get to a level and a point where a banked-in half-court 3 doesn't beat you. So you're trying to win every possession, so it doesn't come down to one possession or one free throw. And all the experiences during the year add up and hopefully help you come tournament time. But that's also a 40-minute game where anything can happen. So today's game especially, I think there's so much more parity. You look at not just us, but across the Big 12. So many teams win and lose close games, and I think a lot of that is because you have a lot of players that are newer. I mean, if you have a bunch of 3 and 4 and 5 year guys in your system, and Houston has the closest to probably that with Shed at the point guard, where they've been in those situations, and not only have they been in them, but they've been in them under that coaching staff, and they know exactly what is wanted and what is needed. And you look at our championship team, had some similarities to the Houston team in that regard, because a lot of your better players were 3, 4, and 5 year in your system.
Scott, I had a birdie tell me that today, by the way, the clock struck midnight. It became March Madness. There's still a little over a week left in the season. Then the Kansas City. What is it about teams that are prepared mentally? And I was told that perhaps you had an impassioned speech earlier today to your team, trying to let those who don't understand March Madness understand what it's like and what it means to be prepared for it.
Well, I mean, there's nothing like it in college basketball. I mean, or in any sport. I mean, with the whole month's named after March Madness, which is college basketball. I mean, so it's a big deal, and it's for players that might only play in it once or never play in it. And what I mean is the NCAA tournament, and obviously what you do leading up to the NCAA tournament to see it decides where your seeding is, which gives you the best chance to advance in March. But it is truly a great time of year. And with that, you have to put your best foot forward. You have to, health-wise, be getting rest, taking care of things, limit distractions, and be ready to do everything you can to make sure it's a memorable March. Because as we know, we get older and the years go quicker and quicker. And they got the next 60 years to think about their March experience.
What is the key of, as the calendar turns, for a coaching staff, and you have a league that should be sponsored by Paxil because of the anxiety that it causes, to where you have to show your enthusiasm and not maybe let your stress come through, so that the team can ride that and not be stressed out about the big games that are to come, because everyone down the stretch now, even in your regular season with the teams you've got left, is a big one.
Yeah, well, and to be honest, I view every game you play as a big one. It's a great opportunity, but they're all important. So with that, the great thing is we have a routine. We have day in and day out. We played 11 o'clock games, 12 o'clock games, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever. There is nothing that they're not prepared for. They haven't done before. And now they just can rely on same old boring habits, and hopefully that calms you, because at the end of the day, experience and success and those memories, muscle memory, do help with everything. You're human. You're excited about every moment, and you just want to make sure that you make the best of each and every moment.
Scott, has there been much trading back and forth with coaches in the Big 12 about Clemson's coach and a couple of ACC coaches, Jeff Capel, and trying to say that the Big 12 are accusing the Big 12 of shaping their out-of-conference schedules to fit the net?
To be honest, I've been spending so much time with our team and getting ready for postseason. I haven't really seen all that stuff. Scheduling is a part of whatever scheduling, recruiting, X and O's. It's all your coaching job. So you need to be great at all of them. And at the end of the day, if you win enough games, you're going to get the results that you deserve and earn. So with us, I look at our non-conference schedule, and I mean, Seton Hall, you look at Florida, you look at who else am I missing
Duke,
here?
Michigan State.
Duke, Michigan State. But who else have we beaten that should be in the tournament?
Auburn.
Auburn. I mean, starting out at the beginning of the year, I mean, Auburn was a great win. So you play enough high majors, the NCAA doesn't penalize you for that. So you can control your schedule. Everyone has a right to choose and schedule however they want. And right now, I think in the net, and I think in the RPI, if I'm not mistaken, the Big 12 is the best conference in the country. And it's that for a reason. We've played games, we've won games, and you get what you deserve.
We'll see you tomorrow at noon. Ought to be one heck of an atmosphere at the Foster Pavilion. Scott Drew, thank you, Coach. Tomorrow.
Hey, thanks for all that you guys do. Take care.
Thank you. That's Scott Drew. Tomorrow noon, and that is KU and Baylor at the Foster Pavilion.
Yeah, I mean, it's